Like I said before, it's probably the best looking PSP game I've ever played. There's an extremely large amount of detail in all the tracks and the cars. I was surprised how much detail there are in the tracks. Actually, there probably is one more problem. Every once in a while you'll see these random white lines go across, like some kind of seam in the graphics. It kind of looks unpretty. But it doesn't happen too often, maybe sometimes on certain tracks. I'll see if I can find you an example and include it in the review so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. But as far as track selection goes, you have all of them that are in the game from the start. I'll go over some of the more important ones so you know. I'll just kind of read them off here. We have, from the first game, you have Apricot Hill, Autumn Ring. There are 8 rally and snow tracks. I think all of them are ones that we've seen before. And I haven't seen Tahiti Maze since Gran Turismo 2, so it's good to see that again. Also we have Grand Canyon, which they really put a lot of work in the actual Grand Canyon, especially in replays. They kind of focus on it when you drive by it. It looks phenomenal. Kind of scares me that the only thing separating my car and the Grand Canyon is a flimsy orange plastic fence. Realism that is video games, you don't crash and fall into the canyon when you hit them. It just bounces off like it's a brick wall, which is good, sort of. And okay, here are some more original courses. We have Grand Valley and just the east version with the bridge part and all that stuff cut off. Midfield Raceway from Gran Turismo 2. My favorite, Trial Mountain. We were missing that in GT5 Prologue. I would like to see what that would have been like in you know, your high definition graphics and whatnot. High Speed Ring. You have that big oval, the test course. Sometimes it's interesting to drive around there just to see what your top speed is in a certain car. Deep Forest, did I say that already? I don't know. El Capitan, which I guess is, I only remember that from Gran Turismo 4, but maybe I'm wrong. Also we have the Seattle Circuit, Tokyo, Route 246, and New York. Those are some of my favorites as well. And every single one of them looks extremely detailed for a handheld console. Now for more about the race structure. For the drift trials, we'll start with that because I tried it once. There's basically, the one race I tried, it was on Laguna Seca. There's 3 like sections you have to pass through. You pass through like one start line, then you drift around a turn, then it ends, and it calculates how many points you got for that turn. Then you do that for 2 more times, and then the amount of points you get is doubled, and that's how much credits you get for that. You don't get any money for time trials, but for a single race, this is probably, as far as racing goes, where all the meat of the game is, without a simulation mode. On each track, you start off at level D. The more times you win a race, you know, get first place. Then you advance up another level, D, C, B, A, and then S. That is basically your difficulty level, S being the highest. And the more difficult your difficulty is, then the more money you get for winning. And even for, well, any position, you get more money depending on what your difficulty level is. So it's a kind of interesting way to look at it. It's not just a single race. You kind of unlock your way to more money by racing on tracks more often. It's more interesting than what you usually get with your standard arcade mode, just racing and not really having a point of doing that. That's basically where all the money is. So you take your Enzo Ferrari on the test course at difficulty S. With 2 laps, you win. You get 150,000 credits just for one race, which is kind of a lot. There's somewhere around 17, my math isn't that great, we'll say 17, different categories for the driving challenges. And there's about 6 individual challenges for each category. So that's another place where you can get your money. It's basically just like licenses, except you get money for them. In order to move on to the next one, you have to complete all of them at least with a bronze trophy. Obviously, the better the trophy you get from bronze to gold, then the more money you get. Interesting thing that I found is, if you're having trouble with a certain license test, you can go to the demonstration, where Jay Leno will tell you what to do with a computer replay kind of thing of the ideal driving line for that particular challenge. So that can help you improve your times. So there's somewhere around 100 challenges as well, but ideally, in order to beat that section, I guess, you'd have to get gold on everything, and even then, I don't know if you unlock something or anything like that. The only thing I found out so far was that after a while you unlock the capability of playing music during races, like music you have in your memory stick. So that's kind of interesting. I would talk about the soundtrack, but I haven't really heard it since it's basically been mostly my music. Also, you can save your replays and view them in the Gran Turismo Theater. That is on the driving challenges and your standard replays. Also, there is the intro movie you can view from there, and the movie you get after beating a certain number of challenges, which is kind of like an advertisement for Gran Turismo 5 in a way as well, which we don't have yet. Also, I was wondering why there was such a thin manual for this game. We have merely 10 pages of information. Actually, the table of contents is on page 3. It actually starts on page 4, so 6. I'm used to, here we have the Gran Turismo 1 manual. Also, there's a reference manual that has driving techniques. And these are probably like 20 pages each. And for Gran Turismo 2, same thing, reference manual, standard manual. Gran Turismo 3, they started going down a little bit as far as, I don't know, maybe they're trying to be a little bit more green. But there is some driving information in here as well as your standard stuff. And the same for Gran Turismo 4. In 5 they cut out the driving mechanics stuff and just had your standard information. But here we have basically nothing. Just like, seriously, like 5 pages of random stuff. You probably can't see that because I'm using a crappier camera right now, but I found out that the majority of the manual is actually in the game. So maybe they are trying to be a little bit more environmentally friendly. Whereas it seemed like for the first Gran Turismo, it came in a 2-disc case, you know, like a thicker one you think would hold 2 CDs. But as you can see here, maybe, it only came with 1. So it leads me to believe that they put it out in a 2-disc case just to accommodate 2 instruction manuals. Also, if you haven't heard already, this is the first Gran Turismo game with Bugatti, Ferrari, and Lamborghini in the same game. Up to Gran Turismo 4, there were none of those in there. In Gran Turismo 5, they had Ferrari. But now we have Lamborghini and Bugatti as well. Even if the 3 of those companies put together in this game, they only have 5 cars total. So, in conclusion, if you're a diehard Gran Turismo fan, no doubt you should get this game. But if you don't have a PSP, I don't know if it's really worth it, because you'd have to pay, I don't know how much our PSP 3000 is going for now. Plus the 40 or 50 bucks, however much this game costs, I don't know. For, you know, there's not really that much to do, aside from just like kind of testing it out. That's basically what it feels like I'm doing, just like the prologue, which is basically a demo. So essentially it leads me to believe it's not a full game. Maybe they rushed it somehow. Maybe they've been saying they've been working on it for the past 5 years and they haven't. I have no idea. There's an incredible amount of detail in the graphics on the cars and the tracks. Everything looks spectacular. But, you know, I don't know. There's just something missing, and we all know what that is. Hopefully they don't do this in the in Gran Turismo 5 for the PS3. That would just be horrible. Maybe they're trying to go some new direction, even though it doesn't make that much sense. Maybe they think that the whole simulation mode idea has been overdone. If they're watching, it definitely has not. I'm glad to have my Gran Turismo fix for now. I hear that Gran Turismo 5 has been pushed back yet again. So, not until next year. But, I guess this could keep me mentally sane until then. Alright, thanks for watching. See you all later. But, I didn't